We are having a really hard time figuring out what to do with the crown up here with the stair rail. We've spent hours trying different things. I do think we want to do crown, obviously along the top there. And then I think we need crown that goes along this way. But this piece up here is not 45 degrees. And so we cannot figure out what to do. We did come up with this. We did Chloe patched up there and then did a return. I don't know. I'm sure if we did this all the time, we would be like, oh yeah, that's what we do, that's what we do. But we don't do this all the time in here. Yeah, I don't know. I think that looks really bad.
Or you have to do it, you know. Or...
No, I don't think you should ever do a crown stopping in the middle of a wall. Take it to the edge all the way. That's weird too. Well, welcome back. We meet again. We're in this crazy kitchen project again. I want to update you. And I've got questions for you. So I don't always do this. Sometimes I just make my decisions, but I know it's fun to weigh in on decisions. So I have shelves to look at. I have hardware to look at and paint. And whenever I do this, you always show up so well in the comments and give me such heartfelt, wonderful advice. So I'm looking forward to that. And I know we are all at different stages with where we're heading into the holidays. So I just want to put this out there that we have Christmas pricing that's going to go to the end of December for our 2 different bespoke design retreats. We're doing 2 this year. One is in May, one is in September. And after December 31st, the different pricing packages are going to go away because it's going to get too close to the event to be able to make payments. So I just want to put that out there. If you want to go with a friend, a lot of people come with a friend or a mom or sister. It is such a wonderful escape. It's a 4-day design retreat that we do in the most beautiful places in America. And I just always meet the most wonderful kindred spirits there. So if you want to join us, don't wait until after January 1st if you already know you want to come and you don't want to pay for that whole ticket price. Okay, we have been working in here. I'm going to show you some of the problems that we've run into, and we have made progress. I don't know if it makes good YouTube content, but here we are, real as ever. We are done with the bead board. This proved to be very challenging. And honestly, I think when you get into a challenging issue with old houses or decisions about millwork and different angles and things, there isn't necessarily always one answer. I think there could be a couple of good answers. So I'll show you what we did there. And then my job, which my husband has informed me will probably take me about 30 hours. So if you need to find me, that's where I am. I am supposed to fill all of the little nail holes, and then once they're all filled and sanded, then I have to go back and caulk all the seams and make everything all finished looking. And then we have painters arriving. Thank you, Lord. They are coming on Monday. That means I've got 1 week to be awesome. So we'll do that. But first of all, let's go ahead and look at the decisions that I have in front of me now. So over here, let's go over here. Okay, first of all, this old shelf. Now, if you've been around, you know I don't really like this shelf. I love the functionality of it. I don't care for the style at all. And so I'll be passing it on. I don't know, maybe my kids will like it, I don't know. I love having glassware up here on this side of the wall. So I still want the glasses up there. I just need a different shelf. I thought about building it. Spent a lot of time on this, you guys. I thought about building it, and honestly, I would rather buy. That would be really nice if I could make that work. I have 2. You can see the first one here. Let's get a close-up of it. I really liked this online. I thought it had some good character. I liked the wood. But now that I've seen it in person, I don't feel like it's very quality. It doesn't mean I won't keep it, but I'm a little disappointed. I was gonna do 3 of these potentially and have the 3 sets of glasses. And then this, I mean, this is super trendy. I'm gonna say it's trendy. It is this little rail A lot of times it's brass, and you can buy them on Etsy, and you can totally do this to any shelf you want. So I know that it's popular. I've loved it for years, and they're kind of doing a knockoff version. Now I would do railing that goes back as well, not just along the front. Honestly, it's not brass. It looks really cheap. So even if I keep this shelf, I think I would invest in the true brass railing and DIY that. So that's an option. Second option. And actually this is probably not gonna work for me to show you. I mean, I'll try, but I need more hands. These are the brackets. And same thing, I feel like they look cheap, but I wouldn't mind gilding them. That's something that the French would do. They would either use brass or they would gild to get everything that beautiful shiny gold. I don't wanna actually drill the holes in this because I might return this. So it's the 2 shelves. It's not gonna be 3 like the last one. And then you just fit the wood in here. I like the simplicity of it. Part of what I am not liking about this one over here that we first looked at is that how it plays with the next room. You always have to think about those things. You know, it's just the room it's in. It's like, how does it all play together in the house? And although it's beautiful, I feel like it's competing. It's getting too like cluttery or distracting with everything going on in the adjacent room. So one thing I could do is I could paint it green like the rest of the kitchen, and that would help blend it in and calm it down. I think that if I keep, here we go, let's try this. Woo! I think that if I keep this, okay, it's working. That the finishes need to look more high-end. So that means gilding the brackets. It means probably painting this, it's not real wood. Probably painting it green, like the walls, and so it blends in. I also would have loved these shelves if they were marble slabs. So that's the first question. You can weigh in. Number 1, would you choose the wooden shelves with the gold brackets that need to be updated, or would we choose the simpler one with the 2 shelves? And would you paint it green, or would you leave it brown, this brown wood look? Well, it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you know what that means. I am always reaching for my Glow Super Powder. This is a women's supplement specifically made for hormone support. Now, I'm menopausal, so that is a whole mess of issues and deficiencies in my body. So something like this is so needed. You've got 3 different flavors: blue raspberry, raspberry, and strawberry kiwi. There's vitamin B's, there's magnesium, ashwagandha, electrolytes. I've been using this for several months. My hair is thicker than it's been in a long time. My nails are totally strong. They were bending and chipping really badly. My skin just continues to get clearer and clearer. And the best part of all is I feel like my energy level is at maybe where it was 10 years ago before I hit menopause. Beam is offering the biggest sale that I've ever seen on their products. It's their Black Friday sale, and it's up to 50% off of all these products. And I know that they have limited supply, so I want you to try this out, especially as we're heading into the holidays. Getting that extra needed support, I think, is gonna be awesome. There's no coupon code. Just click on my link in the description below, and that'll get you their Black Friday deal. So once I get the shelf figured out, this wall will come together pretty fast. And then the next decision I need to make is paint. And I'm a Sherwin-Williams fan. I have been for decades. If you don't have one of these fan decks, you need to get one. They were giving them out for free for many years. You probably have to pay for them now, but if it's all their colors, then you can just go a lot faster than trying to go to the paint store and get little samples, which are too small anyway. So you get one of these. Benjamin Moore has one too. You can go get one of those. And the painter we hired is actually going to use Benjamin Moore. He actually was a Benjamin Moore rep years ago. So he's loyal, and they have beautiful colors, excellent paints. The Sherwin-Williams is just a little bit cheaper, and I'm used to it. I've been using it for decades. So I already had my eye on several Sherwin-Williams paint colors from the fan deck, and then I ordered them. And I don't know why I didn't order them directly from the Sherwin-Williams website, but I should have, because they are, I think, $4 on there. I ordered them from Sampley's. It's just a habit I've been in, but Sampley's charges $7 for their swatches. Let me show you what they look like. Okay, they are nice and big, and they have the information at the bottom, so that's really helpful. I know because I've talked with the Sherwin-Williams reps. They've come to the design retreat before, and they're very proud of this sticker feature. You just peel it off and then you can stick it wherever you need to see the sample at. I don't think they need to be a sticker, because if you think about it, you use it once and then what are you going to do with it? It's really hard to ever use them again. Even in the same room, you're peeling off. Sometimes they get dirty on the back and then you're resticking them and then they stick on themselves. I don't actually like the big sticker thing, so I just do this. I just roll a piece of masking tape and stick it on there like that, and then I never actually use it as a big sticker. So I have a bunch of samples I want to share with you. They're over on the wall. Let's go talk. All right, can you see my wall here? The collection of all these colors. Paint selection is difficult. I do not think you should try to pick a paint color from one of those little tiny swatches. Not a good idea. I would pick from these. And you can get the little pots of paint and paint a swatch on the wall. I mean, that's kind of fun. It's expensive. And then you have all this extra paint you don't need. And if you do it too thick on the wall, then you create a texture that then shows through from there on out unless you sand it down. So this is the very best method, I think, for choosing paint. And you can't just stick it on the wall. This is a process. In fact, I need to do this in the 3 days. I told Ben, my painter, that I would give it to him. But normally I would like a week to choose a paint color. I think that it's something that kind of needs to percolate and settle in your mind. And so I am going to move faster than normal. Hopefully you have a week at least to pick a paint color. But I put them up here. Now they are going to change color. Throughout the day, they change color. In different weathers, they will change color. And then of course at night, when I turn on the lights, totally different. So I put these up last night and we have incandescent lighting. Kitchens tend to be a cooler light than any other room in the house. If they are being used correctly, people try to use them more at a cooler tone, like a 5,000 Kelvin is normally what they're set at, and that's what my lights are in here. So they are they're more true to color than say in a living room or a bedroom, which is more of a candlelight warmth that people use for their light bulbs. But even so, I would have never chosen a paint color like last night in the evening or when it was dark out and we just had the lights on in the room. I would not do that. I wanted to see it during the day. I will check it again tonight when it's just artificial lighting. And then once I narrow it down, I like to get it narrowed down to about 3, and I'm going to tell you which ones I'm thinking of. Once I get to that point, then I take those 3 and then I really start moving them around the room. I start tucking them into different corners where there's different shadows. I'll put it really low. I'll put it really high in the room. I'll put a picture hanging over it. And that helps me really understand what I'm getting into. And we aren't just going to paint the walls. As you know, we're also doing doors and trim and cabinets. There's a lot of places that I can move these samples around. But let's talk about undertones. Oh, I love teaching on undertones. I think it's so helpful to have training in this area. So every color is a mixture of colors, almost always. And I'm gonna say they trigger other colors. And if you understand the color wheel, I teach a whole class on this in my decorating academy, but if you understand the color wheel, you know that colors opposite each other will trigger each other and make them stand out even brighter. So for instance, Christmas is red and white. They are opposite each other on the color wheel, and so they're very vibrant. They trigger each other. They really make each other stand out and complement each other. If I had a white paint in my kitchen with just a touch of red in it, like a little warmth of pink in it, and I put next to it a green cabinet, suddenly my walls are going to look pink. And before they just look like kind of a warmish white. So that's the kind of things that you get into when you are doing undertones. And neutrals are the worst. They are the worst because you think they're neutral and they're not neutral at all. They absolutely are communicating with the other colors around them. So I look at this, for instance. This one may look a little too blue. There's more blue in this green. And then if you see it next to this one is more yellow. Now this is one I'm actually contemplating. Okay, I want to show you something else. So besides looking at undertones when you're looking at a collection of colors, because these are all sage green, but they're not. This one is more yellow. This one is more blue. This one is a lot more gray. This one is more what we call clean, meaning it's more saturated. And anytime you get colors that are more saturated, it feels a little more juvenile. It's something like you would do more in a nursery or more with like children. I like to do colors that are dirty. They're called dirty versus clean. That just means they have more brown or more gray in it, just more muted. And so this one I knew right away. I was like, my kitchen's gonna feel like a baby nursery. I didn't really want to go for this. This is called Livable Green by Sherwin-Williams. There's 3 that I've narrowed it down to. I am interested in Ancient Marble. I feel like it's really elegant. It would look really beautiful. We're gonna look at hardware next. Look really beautiful with gold hardware. And then another thing I want to share with you is this is a darker version of this color. And this doesn't work for all paint companies, but it does for a lot of the Sherwin-Williams colors, and I think some Benjamin Moore. Say you have this paint strip. I could like talk about these for hours. If you love this color, let's say you chose this color, and you painted a dresser in your room and you're like, it's the perfect green. If you wanted to pick a wall color, it would be an absolute no-brainer to just go up the paint strip and choose, like this one or this one. It's actually the same color, but it just has white in it. It's just diluted a little bit with the white. And anyway, that's a little shortcut you can do if you already have a paint color that you love. There are different formulas with a fan deck that you can figure out to fill in the blanks with other colors that you like. And the thing is, oftentimes, I know we're doing a lot of darker rooms these days, but they are, in my opinion, they're really overwhelming and kind of depressing. And so if I like a dark color and I'm considering putting it in the rest of the room, I probably will recommend for you and for me that I would go lighter, just because there's something about totally enveloping yourself with a color, and it is, if it's on the ceiling or whatever, it's just so much more empowering, overwhelming than if you were just to put it on a good focal point. So find a color you like and then dial it up or dial it down. It's called a tint. It's tinted when you add white. Okay, so I like these 2. Super elegant. I feel like they are kind of like the grown-up version of this, like the baby color that I like. And then, so I was interested in that one. I really like this one. I feel like it might be a little bit of conservative gray. It might have a little bit more blue in it than I want, but these are the contenders. So Ancient Marble, Grassland, and Conservative Gray. And I'm gonna let them, float around in different spaces in the room and make a decision, but you can vote in the comments below. Okay, I've got a bunch of things ordered up here that I've been wanting to share with you. And let's talk about metals in a kitchen, because this is one of the most common questions that I get asked about kitchen designs is, can you mix your metals? And my answer is no, don't mix them. But of course, there's a lot more to say on that topic than just no. What about stainless steel? What about the different golds? I feel like there's about 5 different golds. You can't just say, oh, I want gold. Well, there's antique gold, there's lacquered brass, unlacquered brass, there's a champagne gold, and you can kind of just go crazy trying to get it all to work together. And honestly, I say pick a metal and go with that. Now, some designers will say, like, if you cut the room in half, you could do like black hardware on the upper half and then maybe silver on the lower half. I don't know. You know what? Designers have different opinions. Just because we're professionals doesn't mean that we agree on everything. I mean, everything's like that out there. But my taste is just pick one. I like to keep it simple. And then that's your guide. You're trying to get your faucets, your lights, your doorknobs, your switch plates. I mean, I'm switching all of ours to a really shiny gold. And I just think, oh my gosh, won't this just look amazing on the over the green walls. And let me back up and answer that question about stainless steel, because that is such a good question. And okay, in my mind, stainless steel is a classic. It is actually the most classic appliance color that there is. You're really safe if you use that one. And I don't count it in my metals. You can. It would be nice if it matched everything, and I did actually when we built this kitchen about 15 years ago. So you can see like my knobs are all this brushed silver. I just want to do something new. So I'm going with gold. Now here's the problem. My sink faucet is a brushed gold, and the stove that we're putting in this weekend from Italy, it has brass, like really nice, gorgeous, shiny brass. So the two technically clash, but you know what? I'm not gonna get a new faucet. I couldn't find a faucet that I liked that was the shiny, shiny brass. So do your best, and then you know what? Live your life. I'm not gonna worry about it. I mean, I would love it if everything had the exact same sheen, but also, like, I've got other things to do. So I'm gonna do my best and lean towards super shiny brass everywhere. And then we're just gonna move on, and we're just gonna call it gold. I have gold hardware. Yes, I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Okay, so outlet covers are changing. Then I've got a bunch of samples that I feel like none of them are right. But here's another pro tip for you. Knowing what you don't like is just as valuable, almost just as valuable as knowing what you do like. So go ahead and get a bunch of things that you don't like, you end up not liking. Now you're that much closer, you are narrowing it down to the things that you are gonna like. That's actually my answer when I get a crabby comment on social media about, I don't like that. I'm like, well, hey, good, that's helpful, because now you know what you don't like, you can be closer to what you do like. So I got some poles. I mean, see how different that gold is? But technically it's gold. I mean, that's the way they sold it to me. Here's another pole, a little bit fancier, a little bit more interesting. And can I just give a shout out to hardware, because it is the jewelry of your kitchen. And it is a really good place to splurge. Countertops are good, and hardware is really good. So I may spend a little bit more time on this. I was hoping to have this done in the next 6 days, but I'm not gonna make it. Because the painter, he wanted me to pre-drill the holes in the cabinet doors, but I don't know what I want yet. Okay, so I looked at poles, and I looked at these sort of T-bar poles. I mean, I'm leaning more towards this. I just don't want this to look like a wannabe. There's a decorative piece on the range that's so gorgeous, and I don't want all the little handles to look like it's like trying to copy it, but not looking as cool as the range. But I am drawn to this. I think I'm drawn to this because it's so different from what I have had for the last 15 years in here, which is, I mean, I did grab these. I mean, they look great, but it's just so similar to what I've had. And I feel like anytime you're putting the money in to redo a space, go ahead and like really change it up. It's just for fun, because you can, because it's time. Okay, well, Colby is expecting me to get a lot of filling done, since I didn't get very much done yesterday. So I'm gonna fill holes, and then we're gonna caulk, and I have to completely move everything out of this kitchen, and then the painters will be here on Monday. It's about to get really good in here.